Judge not, lest ye be judged. And if you, yes, you specifically judge anybody, you will face the wrath of the one they call Revealer, a Shudder original, written and directed by Luke Boyce in his feature film debut. He provides the story, while Michael Morokai and Tim Seeley provide the screenplay. These three come together to present the story set in 1987 Chicago, centered around a peep show building. It doesn't look like it would have even been up to code in 1969. Nice. Seriously, it doesn't even look like it's safe to breathe in there. The architecture, all the stuff, the floorboards, everything's all goddamn fucked. And Angie, played by Kaito Hosei, I hope I pronounced that right. If I didn't, I do apologize. She is just using her womanly gifts, shaking what her mama gave her. I don't think anybody has said that since I was in high school, which was a long, long time ago. But yes, she is using said womanly gifts, her physical being. She's just using her assets, as it were, to get money from horny guys for, well, a particular reason. One, income, and also for a reason I'll get into in spoilers. But she has an enemy in the form of Sally, played by Shayna Shrutin, who is a very prim and proper religious, it's like you're a sinner, you will go to hell, your mother sucks cocks in hell. Wait, no, that's Linda Blair from The Exorcist. I also retro-reviewed that, check that one out. But nevertheless, Sally is basically the complete opposite. Yin and yang. Stop yinging my yang. There is also a guy that works there named Ray, played by Bishop Stevens. Sounds like a territorial wrestler from the 1980s in the Texas Territory. And also, another character named Wallace, played by Buzz Lear. Not to be confused with Buzz Lightyear, but To Infinity and Beyond does apply for a particular part of this story. So yes, Angie and Sally don't like each other at all. Angie blows her off. Sally's trying to get her to not live a life of sin. But then these two have to come together and basically help each other survive when the apocalypse literally rains down on them. I mean, literally rains down on them. There's a whole bunch of strobe colors and craziness straight out of Color Out of Space, which is another great goddamn movie that you really should check out. But nevertheless, they have to come together. They have to basically come to, an agreement to, even though they don't get along, they gotta stick with each other to survive. And as things go on, they find more and more things out about each other, and then they have to decide, are they really that different, or is the stuff that they just see only surface deep? Are they really decent people underneath it all, as Gwen Stefani once said? So I wasn't so sure about this movie when I first saw it. I thought it'd be a fun little comedy. It is more of a horror comedy. It isn't something to necessarily be taken seriously. But the best way I can describe this movie would be kind of like The Cleansing Hour. I really enjoyed The Cleansing Hour. I had a lot of great fun, and I was pleasantly surprised by that. This is kind of similar to The Cleansing Hour. It doesn't rip it off by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm saying the tone, the fact that it takes a story and just with the right amount of twist, yes, with the peep show thing, I had to do it like this. And they managed to just make the comedy, the horror work. And despite the small cast, the very small cast, I don't think there were more than 10 people on camera at all. They somehow managed to craft a really goddamn great story. Luke Boyce fucking nailed it here. Michael Morokai and Tim Seeley really did a great job with the screenplay as well. And the two leads, the characters of Angie and Sally turned out to actually have some pretty goddamn good depth to them. I'm really, really surprised by how much I enjoyed this. Now, at first I was like, okay, this is what it is. I was like, oh, let's see how it goes. I was enjoying it pretty much right off the bat because the two lead actresses did a really goddamn good job. I'm not that familiar with either of them. I think this is pretty much the first big starring role either of them have had. But there's potential for them to have some, to have some careers that branch out. They could do horror, they could do some other stuff, because they find a way to get some good emotion going, while also just making a really fucked up weird situation with two complete opposites actually work. They managed to blend some shit together really, really well, and I mean shit in the most praiseworthy possible way. They managed to make this work, and it passes by really, really quickly. It's 86 minutes. I think it's like 81 minutes before the credits start rolling, but it's really goddamn good. It's breezy, it's expedient, but it manages to have some good depth to it. It also doesn't take itself entirely too seriously. It has a great 80s synth score and understands exactly how to do throwback horror while not necessarily beating you over the head with nostalgia. It's a lot of fun. In fact, it's quite good, perhaps even great. In fact, fuck it, it is great. This is one of my favorite films of the year. There, put that stamp on it right there, even though I don't have that stamp because I don't have a budget. So I can't put a stamp on the video. That'd be very, very uncomfortable. It'd also damage my phone. But this is really fucking terrific. A lot of fun. I think this entire crew deserves a whole bunch of praise for what they did. And for the small production and the very, very small budget, I cannot imagine this movie cost more than $500,000. And that's not knocking. They made the most out of it. They made this fucking thing work like crazy. So yeah, The Cleansing Hour, Revealer, two great goddamn horrors you need to check out. Cleansing Hour came out a couple years ago. This came out, just recently. I mean, I think just today, in fact, as I'm reviewing it on June 23rd, 2022, Electric 22 Boogaloo. But it's really goddamn good. Really, really fun. The two main characters are really, really fun. And they managed to do some great shit there. They managed to have enough twists and turns and just enough stuff where it's like, wow, they really got some good emotional investment here. See, because I got invested despite the silly nature of the whole goddamn thing and the crazy religious nature of Sally and the fact that Angie, turns out she has some depth to her too. So yeah, it's just a whole lot of fun. Now I'm going to get into spoilers though, so it is on Shudder. Check it out. If you have Shudder, you will most likely enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, please tell me why you didn't enjoy it in the comments. Tell me why you did enjoy it in the comments, regardless. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Okay, so basically Angie does this strip show stuff because it turns out she actually has a nephew named David. That's alluded to in the beginning when she's on a payphone. 1987, no cell phones except a jackhammer brick of a cell phone that you use that I can't imagine those things got very good fucking reception. Good old Johnny Dangerously, a.k.a. Paulie Dangerously. Non-wrestling fans have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. She says, hey, can you make sure that somebody's there when he gets home? Because it turns out that David actually lost his mother. Well, his mother was not the best person, turned to drugs, that kind of stuff. And Angie is, his aunt, and is basically trying to take care of him. And Sally also has a bunch of stuff that, gets revealed about her. And at first, there's like, Sally's all self-righteous and just really over the goddamn top. So she's hiding something because that's how it always is. And they're trapped in the peep show booth at first, but they basically have to find a way to get freed. And the guy Ray meets a quick end because, of course, so racist. The black guy maybe dies first or maybe died, I don't know, about 200th. Because he gets confronted by this blinded by the light because there's all the, crazy strobe light stuff going on outside because the apocalypse is coming. There's these trumpets that happen. 7 trumpets. When you get to the 4th trumpet, then we get the trumpet of whoa. Good old Joey Lawrence. Anybody remember Blossom? Anybody remember Blossom? I'd be amazed if you do. So nevertheless, they have to get out of the peep show booth. They eventually do. Through a series of circumstances, there are these weird tentacle snake things, like they're going all around and doing this and going all around, and no, it's eating me! They're eating her, and then they're gonna eat me! Oh my god! Okay, I can't do that for very goddamn long. If you've seen Troll 2, I'm sorry. So moving on from that. They eventually get into some tunnels or below, like the tunnels that were used as a speakeasy. Angie's very snarky. Sally's still very self-righteous. Great writing during this. Very, very good fucking writing. Sally talks about it's the end times, and she doesn't want to be stuck with her. It's like, I gotta spend the last, hour with you? And then, well, as they continue to save each other, because then they can save themselves, it turns out that there's actually this demon creature known as Mede. I apologize if I got that wrong. Basically, he's the Jewish prince of lust, or he's just the prince of judgment, because he will judge you harshly. This is his judgment day, not to be confused with the stable from WWE that's going absolutely nowhere. Again, non-wrestling fans have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. So basically, Angie keeps trying to get her to go, hey, follow me and everything. You gotta let go of this religious stuff. Like, end times or not, we need each other. And then, they get into the tunnel just as the demon tries to get her. Even though one tried to leap down Angie's mouth. Metaphor right there. And he says, Angie, he's the king of demons. I don't think that we should piss him off. Which is a really good line. Door number 1, door number 2, because they have a bunch of tunnels and everything and stuff like that. And then they choose the one tunnel where it's not red, because you don't want to go to the red right tunnel. And then it gets revealed. I'm not going to reveal every goddamn thing about this, but it is really fucking terrific, and the violence is really good. They do have almost like a Cenobite-like demon that kind of just rolls in there. He's like, "Hi, I'm right here." But Sally ends up they end up going their separate ways because Angie's going to go find David, and then Sally's going to go towards her church. Well, she gives Angie her shoes, being nice and everything, and goes off it alone. Well, then all these weird snake tentacle things are trying to eat her, doing all that and everything, and trying to go down her mouth. Well, Angie saves her. Then they get locked away. It says, "Judge not, lest ye be judged," because this God of judgment is coming after you. And then they get trapped in a little storage closet area there that just happens to be in the tunnels. And Sally says, the reason why it's not because you're a sinner, it's not because you're profane, is because of what your dancing makes me think. Because Sally's gay. Sally's been repressing her homosexuality since birth. And even though Angie was kind of a little, not dismissive, but like, "Oh, this is why you're like this," and everything, she eventually realizes she shouldn't have been like that with her. And then they both get locked in this tunnel because earlier in the movie, this character of Wallace was being judged because he was this very, very, very religious individual, played by Buzz Lightyear. And it turns out that he was actually a complete, he was lying. If you don't lie, then this demon can't come to get you, I guess. And he got killed because he was supposed to kneel so his judgment would be quick. And they end up getting confronted by this demon. Angie gets locked in the confession area, the confession tunnel, as it were, the red tunnel, and basically says, "Well, you're not gonna beat me or whatever." It's like, so go. It's 1987. Who gives a shit if she's gay? So yeah, you're not gonna fucking get me. And then her and Sally are freed. Well, then Sally gets dragged away, and then after Sally had cut off the head of this demon somehow, and then Angie's just beating the shit out of the demon head. It's fucking incredible. He's like, "Give me back my friend." See, if Mel Gibson had done that to Gary Sinise and Ransom, it would have solved a lot of things. It also would have explained Mel Gibson's behavior the last 20 years. But, "Give me back my friend." And then, well, somehow Sally survives. She just gets let go. And they end up in this church. Or in the church. It's like they end up at these church doors. Wait a second, church is a modern one. Why are the doors underground? Well, it turns out that the earth got swallowed up, so now it's all underground cities and mazes and stuff. Possible sequel, because during the credits we see mazes and people trying to get out and trying to get to salvation or whatever, and trying to get away from this demon that's twisting around and floating around and just doing that. And yeah, it seems like also there's dragons underground, because why wouldn't there be? No, not everything in the movie is like necessarily 100%, I guess, makes sense, I guess would be the best way to go about it. That was sort of English, but it was really goddamn entertaining. I had a lot of fun. I thought the character depth was pretty goddamn good, so I had great fun with this. A+, I'm giving it an A+. One of my favorite films of the year. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.